What we're going to do today is try to show a trailer inspection, try to hit the important parts of it, and then we'll go ahead and load a piece of equipment onto the trailer and show you how to hopefully tie it down correctly and secure it and get it ready to transport. You need to start by, of course, filling out your M47T form, and then walk around it and make sure that your hitches are good, all your air lines, everything on that sheet. But it's very important for safety for yourself and also for the public that you're going to be coming in contact with going down the road. After hooking the trailer up, I inspect both the hitches on the trailer and on the truck, make sure that they're in good working order and that the locking mechanism that secures the pintle hitch is the way it should be. I check all my air lines and the glad hands and the electrical cord, make sure that everything's in good working order with them, no problems that way. My safety chains, I like to check those, make sure that they're in good shape, no problems here, the hook's good and everything there. Then I also like to check my jack, make sure that it's up and everything's stowed away perfectly on it. As I'm walking around, I'm looking for any obvious, faults, anything that might be out of place. I'll check all my tie down D-rings, make sure that everything's fine with them. And then we check our lever here that allows you to tilt the trailer and lock it into position, make sure it's pinned. And then as I start down the trailer, I'll look at the deck, make sure there's not any issues with it, missing holes in the deck or whatever. Now we'll go ahead and check our tire pressures, all our suspension components, hub oil levels and everything. It's best if you can use a tire gauge to check your tires. That's really the most acceptable way to do it. And so we'll go ahead and do that right now. Tire pressure's good. Check all your other wheels. And then this is a good point to go ahead and start in on inspecting your suspension. Look at your springs, the shackles, make sure all your U-bolts are tight, that you don't have any issues going on with any of your suspension system. And then you can continue on around. As we come around the back of the trailer, we're checking lights, anything that you might see, out of the ordinary. Make sure that this particular piece here, that it helps in loading, is secured good and you're not going to have any issues with it. And then just continue on around. We start back up this side of the trailer. We'll kind of do just what we did on the other side. We'll check our wheels, our tires, our lug nuts, oil levels underneath on the suspension and all that again. Our tie downs, make sure that they're all in good order on this side as they were on the other side. Anything on the deck on this side, everything's been checked. And at this point, I think our trailer's ready to go and we're ready to load a piece of equipment. Before you load your equipment you're going to haul, your trailers will have a sheet like this on it, a sticker on it, that will tell you what the trailer's rated to haul. You can reference that and then you'll know if your trailer's capable of hauling the piece of equipment you're going to haul. When we go to load the trailer, if at all possible, it's always best to have a spotter. Just that way you can eliminate some problems. But we'll load the piece of equipment, get it positioned on the trailer correctly, so the center of your weight's where it should be, and then we'll properly secure it down, make sure everything's good and tight. After we have our transport lock installed, then we can go ahead and set our bucket down. Then we'll come around and we'll put our deck lock back into place so that the deck's secured, and then we'll chain her down. And at this point, check your chains, check your boomers, make sure they're all in good working order. Before you start tying it down, you need to chain four points on the piece of equipment you're hauling, and then on a loader or anything with the boom on it, you have to chain the bucket down also. Most pieces of equipment will have a tie down point designed for that piece of equipment, so you want to make sure you definitely use those particular points. and not try to just do something that looks good. I'll get these chains and boomers pretty tight initially, but then after I get everything tied down, I'll come back around and I'll put a little more on them and make sure they're nice and tight. Again, as we're doing this, we're wanting to make sure our chains and boomers are in good shape. After I've got all 4 points of these tightened down, I'll come back around and put a little extra on them. Make sure everything's just the way I want it. You can see right here, we're solid. And I like that. I like to be good and tight that way. We've got the 4 points down. We've got a transport lock into place. Now the last thing we need to do is to secure the bucket. We'll hook onto a different tie down point. Don't ever use the same D-ring twice. And then we'll run it up through the bucket down to the other side. We've got another boomer here. We'll secure it down good and tight again. Most of your loader buckets will have hooks on like this here, and you can utilize those to secure your bucket down with. Put our boomer on. And then make sure it's good and tight. You should be ready to roll. Now we've got everything loaded, everything's tied down. At this point, I would recommend do another quick little walk around, make sure that all your chains and boomers are tight. Kind of glance at your wheels and everything again. Just double check everything. Probably the last thing you ought to do before you leave is go ahead and check your load height and load width. Make sure that you're within legal specifications on that. When you're all done and we're getting ready to leave, make sure that your M47T is filled out appropriately, and any problems that you have are noted, and fill out the proper SO5s that you need to get repairs made, and then you're good. And once you get it all done and everything's properly secured, then you're ready to go. A lot of times, you know, the things you're probably going to find is either going to be a flat tire or lights that aren't working correctly, maybe a crack in the hitch itself, just various little things that, you know, can go unnoticed unless you actually do an inspection on it. Ultimately, you're the one responsible for the safe transport of that piece of equipment down the road. So if you've got that form filled out and it's done, if anything comes into question, you at least have a record that you did perform that.